Greetings and welcome everyone to Super Puzzle Platformer Deluxe. Super Puzzle Platformer Deluxe is the Steam version of Super Puzzle Platformer. And if you've never played Super Puzzle Platformer, there will be a link to play the free game in the description below, so you can check that out there. But if you don't want to play it, let me just give you a quick overview of the game. Basically, it's like Tetris, except you're gonna have to shoot down blocks instead of putting them down. And if you don't want to like empty out stuff, you want to make sure there's enough stuff there. It's kind of hard to explain, so let's just actually start it off. There are 3 game modes you can choose. You can have single player, multiplayer, and challenges. Let me just show you off the single player mode first. These outfits are basically different kinds of abilities for your character. Each one will give them special abilities. The first one you unlock is sort of an all-rounder, jack of all trades, master of jack shit. The second one is a ninja. He can jump really high and he can go super fast, but he doesn't have that much power. The jetpack guy, he can jump for ages. He has okay power and no speed at all, so we're going to be picking him. Now, I've unlocked 3 levels so far, and it's okay. So the way that you unlock levels is you need to collect gems. You can see in the top right there, it says like best 3, and it has a gem there, or an emerald or whatever, and you want to pick those up. And once you do, you will level up, so you can unlock the next area. So you can see here, it says 6 out of 10. We need to pick up 4 more in order to progress. These are the high scores that you can look at. There are global leaderboards as well, so you can compete against your friends. Actually, I don't think you can filter it to just your friends. So it's just global high scores and local high scores, which is kind of weird that they wouldn't allow you to filter it to just your friends. That's kind of weird, but whatever, I suppose, whatever. Now let's get it started. Retro Relic. Alright, so this is our character. He's sort of like Meat Boy covered in mustard, I suppose you could call it. So we need to destroy these blocks and get points. Every time you destroy a block, they will drop this little like triangle point, and you'll pick those up and it will give you a point in your... It will give you something to fill up your bar in the top left. And once the bar in the top left has been filled, it will allow you to go to the next level. So there we go. Let's just quickly try and get to the next level real quick. Oh, there we go. So now we are at level 2. So now, which should be a bit more tough than level 1 was. Now, we can go back to level 1 if we get squashed by blocks. So if we just sit here and wait for blocks to blow us up, or go on top of us, then we will be squished and we will lose points that we need in order to advance. Now, I'm not 100% sure in how you... Okay, there you go, see? It just put me down 1 level, so now we just need to pick up some more so we can level back up. There we go. Now, I'm not 100% sure on how you're supposed to spawn in those jewels that I showed you earlier on that you need to advance in the game. It seems a bit random as of right now. I'm sure there's actually... Oh, wait, what the hell? Alright, there's one right here, see? Like, I have no idea what I did just there to bring that in. I thought originally, like, you had to get a ton of blocks destroyed at once, but it seems like no, because I destroyed, like, what, 2 blocks there, and I got one? So it really seems quite random when something will drop and when something won't, which can be good or bad, depending on on what you think, I suppose. It can be good because... the randomness adds a lot of replayability to it. You can just continually replay, and it's this luck-based sort of game where you don't know how many jewels you're going to get or at any given time, so you don't know if this run's going to be good or if the next one's going to be better and stuff like that. But it can also be bad because of those very same reasons. Like, I'm personally not a big fan of this random element to it, since I'm not actually 100% sure if it is a random element. Wow, okay, that was dumb. I jetpacked right into the explosion. All right, so yeah, I'm not 100% sure on how it works. So there's no real tutorial here for pretty much anything, at least not that I could find. Like, there was, when you start this game, it doesn't even explain how to move, which is kind of weird since the free version had that and the paid version doesn't, so kind of crazy there, but whatever. And yeah, so they don't really explain how you get these jewels and stuff like that. I assume this is just as a way to try and encourage a more community aspect to the game, and maybe try and get the community to write, information about the game and help their friends out with the game and stuff like that, and which is, you know, an okay thing, I suppose, but it's just for when the game is brand new and just recently came out. Yeah, it's not too helpful. Like later down the road, I'm sure it's going to be fine because everyone will know what to do because they've read it and stuff like that. But as of right now, there's no real documentation about this game, about how to play it. I couldn't find a manual on Steam. I couldn't find any community guides. So yeah, you're just stuck to what the game gives you in terms of information, and there really isn't that much. So you don't really know what specific requirements need to be met in order to get the jewel. So you're like wondering, like, what the hell am I supposed to be doing here? It's a bit confusing. And also something that's weird is the multiplier for the crates that you break. So you can see here, if we break this, it'll say plus 49. But if we break one, it's plus 1. But if we were to break 2 of the same color, it would give us plus 4. And then if you do 3, it's plus 18. It's like, I'm not 100% sure on what the multiplier is and stuff like that. So it doesn't give you a lot of information in terms of the behind the scenes sort of stuff, which I don't know how I feel about that. I'm leaning more towards just not a fan, because, you know, I like to know what exactly is going on in the games that I play, and this game doesn't really give you much of that information. It does give you a lot of visual information in terms of which blocks you are breaking, which is really nice, but aside from that, it doesn't really say that much. Like, you can tell here, like, oh, this block's in perfect condition, but then if you shoot it, it'll get gradually more broken as you shoot it continually. So that's easy to tell at a glance, which is really nice because you can use that to strategically place blocks down and decide which ones you want to go after in order to break them quicker and stuff like that. And also, I got another jewel there, and I still have no idea what I did to get that. It's really confusing. It's like, oh, you want a jewel? Sure, here you go. But other times it'll be like, oh, you want a jewel? No, you don't. It's just like, it doesn't seem like there's any real thing that you have to do. It's just more like a general survive until it drops type of thing. It seems like that anyway. I don't know if that's the actual case. Like I said, it doesn't give you that much information as far as the behind the scenes stuff is concerned. Also, I should mention that if you are playing this game on PC, I think it's planned for an Xbox port sometimes, so I'm not 100% sure on that, but I just assumed, because I think I remember the developers saying they were working on one. But, yeah, so if you play this on PC, there's no mouse support at all, so that's kind of weird that they would have that. Like, even if it's, like, I understand, like, oh, it's a platformer and stuff like that, so you don't really need it that much, but still, even just for, like, the menu navigation or something like that, that would be cool. I would like that. So now let's just go to the main menu. Alright. No, back out of this. Okay, and also, this is another thing that's kind of weird. So I've remapped the keys to go to WASD and IJKL, but in the main menus, they don't do anything. You need to use the arrow keys and enter in order to navigate the menu. So it's weird that they would, like, allow me to remap the keys, but then in the main menu, I would have to still use the default keys. Like, I don't want to use the arrow keys and enter. I want to use WASD and IJKL. Let me use WASD and then IJKL, please? And they're like, no, you can't. So it's weird. Also, these are all of the options that you get. Full screen on and off. There's no resolution options to change at all, which is a bit of a bummer, since I really prefer to record at 720p due to how I record and stuff like that, and other technical crap that I'm sure you don't care about. So the fact that I can't record at 720p in this game is really disappointing. Music and sound effects, it's a volume slider, which is good. Although, something that is weird is that when you restart the game, so are your music settings. Like, if you mute this, exit it, and come back, it'll go back to the very default settings that the game had. So it doesn't save your settings once you turn off the game, which is kind of weird. Also, this is how you rebind your keys. You select what mode you're using, multiplayer or single player, and then you select which controller scheme, keyboard, or gamepad. And then it's kind of weird because you don't actually just, like, select from a list of what buttons you're changing. It's up, down, left, right, shoot, secondary shoot, and then jump. So it's kind of weird how they do that. So but it's okay, but it's just kind of different. I'm not a big fan of it, but whatever. The album is your statistic area. I've played it for an hour and 20 minutes now, and yeah, the stats are pretty cool. The stats, you know, they tell you a lot of what you've been doing and how far ahead you are in the game and all that cool stuff, which is really nice. This is a challenge room. The challenge rooms are basically the sections of the game that are tough. So let's just do, say, spikes. Sure, I haven't actually played this one, so this is going to be bad. Alright, so you have a timer up at the top, and that's how long you need to survive for. So that is our goal right now, just to survive. Wow, that was really bad. Okay, I'm not really good with the ninja guy. So the ninja guy has his own little special ability, which allows him to double jump by jumping and then jumping again. I know, crazy. So, there we go. So now we just need to survive for 30 seconds, I believe, without getting hit or squished, unlike what we just did. So, there we go. Let's just try this again. So, this is the main idea of these challenge rooms. They'll give you a challenge, and once you complete them, you will be given an achievement for it. I think every challenge room has an achievement for it, which is pretty cool for you achievement hunters out there. So, if you're after those chivos and whatnot, then this is the game for you. Then again, it is also quite challenging, so maybe it's not. How the hell? Where was I supposed to go there? I don't even know. I'm sure I was just missing something. Yes, so this is the challenge room, and yeah, overall, this game has a really nice little aesthetic going on here. Wow, I pressed the wrong button. Yeah, the game has a very nice aesthetic. It's got this very little retro-y vibe sort of thing, which is really cute and looks very nice, and it sort of helps reflect the fact that the game is pretty difficult, because the whole, you know, pixelized look has sort of become synonymous with very difficult gameplay, you know, the Nintendo hard sort of days and such. Now, where am I supposed to go here? Oh, wait, what? Wait, what? I was on top of those spikes for a second there. Did anyone else just see that? Can I stand on top of the spikes? Is that right? I don't even know anymore, man. This game's driving me mad. Anyway, yeah, so this game is looking like a sort of older, retro-y game. Wow, I can just stand on here, really? Wow. Oh, okay, that's good to know. When I see spikes, I don't assume that, oh, I can just stand on those. Oh, wait, now I can't? So you can walk on them, but you can't jump on them. Okay, good to know. What? This game is really weird with its logic. If you want to jump on a spike, that's no good. But you want to walk on a spike, go ahead. So, like I said, it's not very clear with any of the behind-the-scenes sort of information that's going on. So, like, walk on spikes, good. Jump on spikes, bad. And it's sort of like, wait, why is that such? How was I supposed to know that? And it's like, how are you supposed to know that? Well, you weren't, so you were just supposed to repeatedly die until you walked onto the spikes, or something like that. So this game is pretty unforgiving, but like I said earlier on, I think that's an intentional design choice just so that people will talk about the game, and it'll give it a more of a community sort of aspect, which is just, you know, it's alright, I suppose. Ah, darn it. I still just, I don't understand this game, but, overall, this game is pretty cool, but the only real problem I have with it are the options. There's no resolution option, there's no mouse support. The keyboard controls, while they're okay, they're usable, it just doesn't feel right. I feel like this game was really designed with a gamepad in mind. So if you do play this game, I highly, highly, highly recommend you play with a gamepad, because that seems to be what everyone's recommending. Well, I say recommend, I mean what everyone who loves this game plays with. Like, I think this game is pretty okay, but everyone I know who loves it is playing with a gamepad, so I think that might be why. So if you purchase this game, give it a shot with a gamepad first, since that's what it seems to be designed in mind with. There is a lot of content here, and yeah, overall, this game's pretty cool. This has been Super Puzzle Platformer Deluxe First Impressions, and overall, it's a very neat game. It's like Tetris, but with Super Meat Boy thrown into the mix, but the only problems are that the controls on the keyboard aren't as tight and intuitive as Super Meat Boy, so it feels like you're not really being treated fairly, and the difficulty is sort of a fake one, because you aren't being told a lot about the rules, and the gameplay doesn't really explain any of the rules. Super Meat Boy was a great game because as you played, you learned how to play through the levels. In this game, you learn how to play just through trial and error. There's no specific things to teach you about a specific mechanic. There's no level set up just to teach you about the fact that you can walk on spikes. There's none of that. There's no tutorial, and I think that's more just for a community sort of aspect, which, while may be good in the future, right now is really punishing since you don't know what the hell's going on. But yeah, so I think the music is great. The graphics, fine. They represent what the gameplay is going for quite well, and I do think the technical problems are what really let this down. So that has been my first impressions of Super Puzzle Platformer Deluxe. Thank you for sticking around, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to pick up this game, you can do so right now on Steam by clicking the link to the Steam store page in the description below. There will also be a link to the free version of Super Puzzle Platformer Deluxe, as well as like all their other stuff, you know, their Twitter, their Facebook, and whatever else. So, GG!